Manchester United strongly considering offer from Napoli for Scott McTominay. Two other players set to leave the club before the transfer window ends. And United eyeing shock deal for Bournemouth left-back Milos Kerkez. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this morning's show. But before we get into that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on this episode. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6. Everyone is welcome. Make sure you get involved. Right, let's start the show off by reacting to this story about two players that are set to leave the club this summer. The first one is Pellistri. Apparently Manchester United are in talks with Bologna over the permanent sale of Facundo Pellistri. He's got 1 year left on his contract, 22 years of age. No new contract is on the table for Pellistri. I feel a little bit bad for him, to be honest. Like, he came to Manchester United, 4 or 5 years ago, and he's never really had his opportunity to kind of break through into the first team. We've seen little glimpses of what Pellistri can do. Obviously, he's a starter for the Uruguay national team, had a really, really good Copa America. But Antony, Sancho, Rashford, Garnacho, they've always been ahead of him. And obviously, with the recent emergence of Amad Diallo, I just don't see how Pellistri is going to ever get into the team. Obviously, Erik ten Hag feels somewhat of an alliance towards Antony, 95 million euros. Erik ten Hag probably feels like he has to try and make Antony work to some extent. And I think because of that, Pellistri's so far down the pecking order now, especially if Jadon Sancho doesn't leave as well. Pellistri's just not going to play. I know he featured at right back in the Community Shield game, but I think that was just because of desperation. I don't think Manchester United will actually play Pellistri at right back in the Premier League. I think it was just because we literally had nobody else to put in that position, and he was the only option. So yeah, I feel a bit bad for him. Transfer fee wise, apparently Manchester United are asking for around £10 million for him, which I think is probably fair. I personally would like to see some sort of sell-on clause in that deal, because I do think that if he goes to the right club and sees out his potential, Pellistri could become, maybe not a world-class player, but you could see him moving to another club for 20, 30 million pounds in a few seasons. He has that potential. And, if he goes to Bologna, obviously they're a Champions League club. We've already got a really good relationship with them after buying Joshua Zirkzee. And I think it's, it's a win-win for everybody. At the age of 22, Facundo Pellistri needs to be playing first-team football, and obviously going to Bologna would kind of guarantee that. So I wish Pellistri all the best. This is a deal that definitely looks like it will be going through before the end of the window. It's been widely reported today that Manchester United are in direct talks with Bologna over a deal for Facundo Pellistri. And then the second player that is looking set to leave the club is Hannibal Mejbri. We brought you the story a couple of days ago that Hannibal has handed in a transfer request at Manchester United. Another player with 1 year left on his contract. Another player who was signed 4 or 5 years ago with lots of hope, potential. At the time, people were saying he's going to become, the next best midfielder in the world. But it's not really worked out for Hannibal at Manchester United. He has the aggression, he has the passion, but I'm not sure if he has the quality to be a Manchester United player. For me personally, clubs interested, apparently Celtic, Rangers, and teams in French league as well. Because we have to remember that obviously Hannibal originally started his career at Monaco. And apparently Monaco are interested in bringing him back there. So again, transfer fee wise, it's not going to be massive money. It's around £10 million. That's what's being reported today, which I think is probably fair for everybody. He's 22 years of age, 1 year left on his deal. You're not going to get vast amounts of money for him realistically. But yeah, I have nothing bad to say about Hannibal. I'm not convinced he's Manchester United quality, but he's never done anything or, wronged us in any way. So I wish Hannibal all the best. And hopefully he gets his move sorted in the next kind of, what have we got, 2 weeks left of the window? Yeah, in the next 2 weeks of the window. And then the next story I've got for you is on Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth. This story is coming out from an account I really like on Twitter called United Muppeteers. He seems to get information from Manchester United directly. And he is reporting that apparently Manchester United want to sign Milos Kerkez, but it could potentially be pushed back to next summer. Now, I know a lot of people in the chat were really, really keen to bring in Ferdi Kadioglu, but it looks like Ferdi Kadioglu will be joining Brighton, so we're not going to get him. But Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth obviously had a very, very good season in the Premier League last year. Had a very, very good Euros as well for the Hungarian national team. He's available for around £30 million, which is probably a fair price for him. 20 years of age, definitely a player for the future. Definitely someone I would like to bring in, but it's just whether Manchester United can pull the resources together in order to complete a deal for Milos Kerkez this summer. So yeah, we'll wait and see how that one progresses. At the moment, Manchester United are very, very interested in signing him. It's just whether they can get the funds together to complete that deal. And then the final story I've got for you today is the big one. It's on Scott McTominay. So just to give you a bit of a roundup of where we are with this one, it was confirmed yesterday that Napoli's director of football was in England to negotiate with Manchester United over a deal for Scott McTominay. Manchester United yesterday rejected a loan from Napoli. I don't really know why they think we'd loan McTominay out. Bit of a strange move there from Napoli, but fair play. Manchester United have apparently told Napoli that they will sell McTominay this summer, but they want 25 to 30 million pounds, which I think is perfectly reasonable. He's 27 years of age, Premier League proven, full Scottish international. Probably would do quite well in the Italian league. It's very different to the Premier League. And Manchester United now apparently are willing to sell him and are in talks with Napoli over a permanent sale. How much do you guys think how much do you think Manchester United should be asking for McTominay? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And would you sell Scott McTominay? Let me know. From my perspective, McTominay is the most sellable player this summer. Obviously, he's got 1 year left on his deal. He's not on massive wages. He only earns about 60k a week, which when you compare McTominay's wages to, say, someone like Eriksen, because there'll be people watching this video saying, Eriksen should be sold, Lindelof should be sold, which I would agree with. But the problem we have with those players is they're on massive wages. Eriksen's on about 150k a week, whereas McTominay's only on 60. So it makes him a little bit more of an appealing prospect for clubs like Fulham, Brentford. Loads and loads of clubs have apparently inquired for Scott McTominay. Even Everton have inquired, apparently. So, there is a genuine interest there for McTominay from lots and lots of clubs. Do I think he'll end up at Napoli? I mean, that would be an incredible move for McTominay. I know he's come through the academy. I know he loves Manchester United. But if he was to get a move away from United, imagine him moving to Napoli. That would be, going and playing for Antonio Conte in Serie A. Unbelievable team Napoli have got. I think it would be a quality move for him. So I hope that this one happens before the window ends. There are lots and lots of journalists this morning coming out saying that Manchester United now are in direct talks with the Napoli director of football to get a deal over the line. So it looks like this one could go through. Obviously, we've got 2 weeks left of the window. Manchester United have told Napoli, either you pay us the 25 to 30 million or we don't sell him. But apparently Napoli don't have the money, which I don't really understand because they're just about to sell Victor Osimhen to Chelsea for like 100 million. So how can they come to Manchester United and say, we don't have any money, loan him to us? Like, that doesn't really add up to me. It's like when last a couple of months ago, Dortmund said to Manchester United, we want Sancho, but we don't have any money for him. And it's like, you've literally just got to a Champions League final. How can you tell us you don't have any money? And I just don't understand it. I assume it's just a negotiation tactic to see how desperate we are to move on the player. But Manchester United aren't desperate to move on McTominay. And I would rather keep McTominay than loan him. Like, loaning him gets us nowhere. We would need to buy another midfielder and we wouldn't have the funds to do it. So yeah, McTominay to Napoli is definitely one to watch. It's one I think will go through before the end of the window. Obviously, as soon as we get any more news on that, I will bring it to you here on Daily Red Devil. But I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Obviously, as you can see, I'm in slightly different surroundings. I'm away today, or yesterday and today. I'm not at my granny's house. I saw people in the comments saying, are you at your grand's house? No, I'm in an 18th century manor house in Wales. So yeah, I'll be back later on today, though. So normal business will resume for the 6 o'clock show. So yeah, normal streams back later on today. Before you leave, please do me a small favor, smash a like, subscribe, let me know your thoughts on McTominay in the comment section below. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a lovely day, everybody, and I will speak to you all later. Bye for now.